So if you guys want to click in a little early, that's okay. I'm just going to open it up. So this is the starter for today. Okay. Ramira? Elizabeth? What's that? Elizabeth Gamma? Nira? Arturo? Brandon? I have you on our sugar? Okay. Arturo? Ignacio? Oh. Lorenzo Ramirez? Jesus? Alejandrina? Elena? William? Jonathan Garcia? Jeff Gonzalez? Where?
Yeah, so all we have to do is make it right.
Remedy?
Yeah.
Angela? How do you do it?
So I have a question.
Oh, okay.
About the portfolio that's been wrong, do we just have to make one, not do anything?
Just a profile, and add yourself to the file. You want to, if you want to actually submit a portfolio ahead of time. This is just to get everyone kind of using it and on it. Really? Hold on. Ramiro? Elizabeth Gamma? and share it? Raymond? People probably get it on. So I tried to write, if most of you guys who handed in and were like, I don't know if my iClicker's registering, it seemed like they were. So you shouldn't have to hand in stuff, but it wouldn't hurt to make sure that you check Blackboard and see that you're getting the points, right? So keep on top of that. And Elizabeth? Mara? Okay. And so kind of a check-in for today. Plate tectonics took a long time to be accepted, so it's very new. It's a very new way of looking at Earth. People thought that Earth just stood still, that the continents were where they are for all time, they didn't move. And so it took a very long time to accept because which is the best answer? Climate, climate, fossil distributions, and land shape offered conflicting evidence. Right? Did all of the evidence kind of disagree with each other? Wegener couldn't explain how the continents were moving. There was a lot of stubbornness by the scientific community. Most of Wegener's ideas turned out to be wrong. And so I would say A, B, C, or D. Right? And I'll give it until 6 minutes, and then we'll check in. Myra? Yes. Elizabeth? Oh, I'm so good. I am just kicking butt. There you go. So I clicked in and it got it. Okay. All right. Oh, it's 6. All right. Let's see where we are. Oh, wow. Looks like a lot of people like B. All right. Some people thought A, that's the second runner-up. So climate, fossil distributions, and land shape offered conflicting evidence. All of the evidence that Wegener had really agreed, right? It was just he couldn't explain how they were moving. So B is the best answer for this, all right? If you guys put C, the one of you guys who did that, you could actually argue. You could argue that. The scientific community was really stubborn. They didn't take him seriously because he wasn't a geologist, right? And so that's not a bad answer. It's not the best answer. And so the best answer is B, right? So it looks like most of you guys got that. Good job. There you go. We can go forward. All right. And I think this is where we left it last time. So let's see if we can get this going.
To track them, the Allied forces developed new sonar methods. The scientists were enlisted to help survey the ocean floor. When the United States entered the war, Harry Hess was a geology professor at Princeton University. But he also happened to be a Navy reservist, so it wasn't long before he found himself in command of an attack transport ship in the Pacific. To help maneuver when coming in for a beach meeting, Hess's ship was equipped with a depth cylinder. And still being a geologist at heart, he used the cylinder to measure the depth of the ocean floor whenever a ship was out to sea. And what he discovered startled him. Until the Second World War, most scientists imagined the bottom of the ocean looked like this. Flat, lined with nothing but sediment. But about 2 miles beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean, Harry Hess discovered something else entirely. Mountains like these here in California, with deep canyons and trenches, hundreds of high peaks that we now believe were once active volcanoes, and all of this at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Surprisingly, though, the discovery of the Pacific mountain range is not what makes Harry Hess part of our Great 100, and we'll get to that in a minute. To understand where all this is headed, I'd like to skip ahead to another event that set the geology world buzzing. For years, oceanographers surveying the Atlantic Ocean had taken sonar readings that indicated there was something down there, something big. In 1953, they found out what it was. A 12,000-mile-long mountain range, They called it the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. To fill us in, I paid a visit to Neil Driscoll, a geologist at the Scripps Institution in Oceanography.
One of the big discoveries that was made was that there was this ridge of underwater volcanoes that stood high above the seafloor.
How high is the mountain in the middle of the Atlantic?
The average seafloor depths are on the order of about 4,000 to 5,000 meters. The mid-ocean ridge sits up at about 2,500 meters. So they sit about 2.5 kilometers on average higher than the surrounding seafloor that's shown here in the deep blue color.
So that's over a mile high.
Yes.
And that's where Harry Hess comes back into the story. Analyzing core samples and sonar readings from around the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, Hess made an astonishing discovery, a phenomenon almost beyond comprehension. The age of the Atlantic Ocean floor, he determined, was progressively older the further it moved away from the ridge. Harry Hess had discovered that the seafloor was spreading. He concluded that molten rock was being forced up from the inside of the Earth at the ridge, where it formed into new crust on the ocean floor. Gradually, it was pushed away on either side as more molten rock continued pushing up from behind it. Hess called his great discovery seafloor spreading.
Harry Hess was in a position that he could bring it all together. Things were spreading apart and new Earth was being generated. And if he did this for long enough, the Earth should grow. And it doesn't.
The Earth doesn't get any bigger.
No. Harry appreciated the fact that if new Earth was being generated in one area, they have to be consumed or recycled in another area.
The process that recycles the crust of the spreading ocean core back inside the Earth is called subduction. But as our next great discovery revealed, it's all part of a much larger process, perhaps the most powerful force on the face of the Earth.
All right. So Bill Nye does a really good job
Showing kind of the discovery of what Harry has found. Let's do this.
And for the first time in the 1960s, again, we thought that the ocean floor was just this abyss, this flat plane, and actually it had a lot of topography. So boats going from South America to Japan and just ping, 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 ping along, we're finding that there was huge differences. So following y prime to y, y prime to y, you can see that topography is going up and down. There's kilometers differences, right? Mile differences. And so in some places there were these very deep trenches, right? So in the hypsometric curve, these were the ocean trenches, about 8 kilometers down. Right? We saw mid-ocean ridges, these areas that kind of sutured up, popped up on the seafloor. Right? And they're about 2 kilometers below sea level. So 8 kilometers below sea level, 2 kilometers below sea level. So there's quite a difference. And then the ship size was ping, 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 ping along, that there are these underwater mountain chains. Right? Kind of like Hawaii, but not quite reaching the water. And then if you go to the other side of the Pacific, you actually hit another trench, right? And then you finally get to Japan. And so we saw for the first time these huge topographic features on the seafloor. And so they were identified as these mid-ocean ridges, so these suture zones. Right? New seafloor is made in the center, and the seafloor is pushing out as the mid-ocean ridges makes new seafloor. There are these deep sea ocean trenches, these puckered down places. So you'll see these trenches on both sides of the Pacific. We don't have them on the Atlantic yet. So when oceans get old enough, you can actually start subducting ocean floor. And so this is where ocean is consumed, why Earth doesn't get bigger. We also saw these oceanic islands, so these hot spots, right, these trails, these seamounts and guyots. So they're all just islands that haven't made it to the surface. So we saw all these features, right? And so that's what we saw in the ocean. Around the same time on land, we were understanding magnetism a little bit better, and we saw that if you go to volcanoes, we actually have magnetic reversals, right? So just like on the seafloor, we have these different magnetic periods over time. And so you could go up to a volcano and just make a core, core down, subsample every meter or so, and age the rock. And not only age the rock, you can measure its magnetic field. And what we found was that the magnetic fields split every so often, right? And so this is an example. So this volcano you put here, is that you find that there are these normal periods. So when the red is pointed down, that's the north coming out, going in. So you have these periods that align with the field today. You have periods that are reversed where the red points up, right? So the magnetic field, all these minerals are pointing the other way. They flip again, and you can kind of see there's kind of this million-year, right, kind of sequence. And within those bigger sequences are some smaller ones. Right? You see this on land, right? And so we know from this that the Earth's magnetic field flips. It flips. We don't know why. We have some hypotheses, but it's really hard to get to the center of the Earth. So we don't quite know exactly why. And in looking at these changes, there's just a break in the rock. There's one line. All of a sudden you have same magnet, then all of a sudden the magnet changes to a different way. And so these reversals happen fast, almost instantaneously. We don't see different alignments of the minerals changing over time. They just flip, right? And so we know that these reversals happen fast, within 100 years. And we can use these as time markers. If you cut into that rock, hey, those are nice strata, nice layers, right? So we can use these as time markers. And so if you look at the bathymetry, so this is what Harry Hess was doing. And if you look at the magnetics, if you take a few slides ago and the last slide, all right, if we take this pattern, and if the continents are drifting, if this is moving this way, if this thing over here is moving that way, all right, what would you then hypothesize we should see in the ocean? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to kind of write down a hypothesis. I hypothesize that given the seafloor bathymetry, so the topography, and given the magnetics, you would actually see some kind of pattern. What pattern would you see? So this was Hess, the symmetry, and he's seeing these underwater mountains. Does he see them move? No. He just sees these features. So even though Harry Hess is kind of credited with seafloor spreading, he wasn't really the guy who proved it. You see these underwater mountains, but you really have proof that they're moving. He sees that the ages of the rocks get older as they go away. He sees some trends in the sediment. He doesn't really have like great proof, not the best proof. It's compelling at this point. You hypothesize what the magnetic is like.
Right, that's what it looks like. So what would you expect, what would you hypothesize? With regard to buoyancy. What would you hypothesize we should see in terms of magnetics and the seafloor topography? And you can replace magnetics with buoyancy. So what can you make a hypothesis with buoyancy? So buoyancy is relative to something else. So is there density differential along the ocean ridge, outside of the ocean? What's happening like much farther out away from the ocean ridge? Is it buoyant?
It's very buoyant.
Where?
It's more buoyant towards the end and
So if it's more buoyant towards the end, I expect it to be something like that.
ships down
So this is interesting, yeah. Did you do the lab already? Yeah, that's the physics perspective, that's why. Yes, and no, but we're not on the same page about lab, yes. I like, you're kind of right. You're more right than I am, but in terms of the book, I'm right. So the lab this week is in terms of the density perspective, the buoyancy perspective of physics. And physics does a buoyancy inverse of my definition of the geological definition of buoyancy. And so what you read in the book when he talks about isopsicity and buoyancy, more buoyant means that it's less dense. And so it'll pop up. More buoyant means it pops up. Less buoyant means it goes down. That's my perspective. The lab's perspective is split. And so on the pre-lab, I got 100. On the post-lab, I got 40. And so I told Casey, we're not counting absolute scores. So as long as you do it and you learn something, I learned a lot. I totally fucked up the whole thing. But I learned a lot. There's different physics and but you're right. Let's talk about that a little more. You might want to go over that in FI, explore that a little further. So that's something that I should be taking off there. I have to like sit here. Really hard to come up with a hypothesis, right? I thought, like, as a scientist, that I'm going to go get my PhD and like I'm golden. I just have to sit in classes, and I don't know. 10 years in, my advisor was just like, "You don't know how to make a hypothesis." It's really, really hard. It's not easy. And we think like science is easy. No, it's not. And so I wanted to get at this point. And I really like the way you guys are thinking. And I'm just conscious of time. Otherwise, I would go and take care of breaks. But next thing, I'll start over there. So this is really interesting. We still don't have, yeah, Peter?
Definitely if it's going to be your first time taking a science class, it feels hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the more times we do something, the more times I hurt my brain trying to hypothesize, the better I become at it.
It takes more time to get used to it when you start taking more classes.
Yes. And at some point, if you guys go for your PhD,
classes and grades don't matter. Don't worry about the classes. Just say fuck you to the teachers who are like, here, take my class. And no, I'm graduating, I'm handing in my thesis. So what's really interesting is that, yeah, a hypothesis is a testable statement.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, I tell everyone. And I have a student who's in the class right now and really pissed off about it. Like, no, teacher, be finishing. So teachers are sometimes like we're very self-serving. My advisor, it's really hard to not be self-serving sometimes and see what is really best for the student. And when you become a master's student or a PhD student, you're becoming an expert in something that was never done before. And so taking another class isn't going to help that.
Right.
It's really working on your own independently on that project and seeking out help as needed. And you can, the teachers want us in the classes because the more people in the class, the more I get credit for teaching to the university. Yay, I'm benefiting. So if students don't go to my classes, like that sucks for me, right? Especially at the graduate level, like you have less students. And so if you want to teach a graduate course, you need the students. And so they'll always ask you, like, take the graduate course, take the minimum required, do your thesis, and get out. That's the best thing, honestly, to do. Yes, you can quote me on that, and I will argue for any of you. Totally student advocate right here for too long. So yeah, it's really hard to actually come up with hypotheses. And so a hypothesis is a testable statement. And so we want to develop a test, some kind of statement that we can test to determine if seafloor is really happening. So I have these mountain ranges, but this doesn't show me anything dynamic. Nothing's moving. It's very static in that picture. And I have this magnetism on land that kind of flips. Is there some way that I can put it together and make a statement that I can actually test? And Fred Vine at Columbia University actually came up. He said, if magnetism is flipping like this on land, all right, so we know that the layering of volcanoes is going one on top of each other. In the ocean, the new stuff comes out horizontally. So you get layers kind of stacking this way. And so he just said, flip this way. We should see this pattern on the ocean. Okay? We can test that. So just the same as you go bing, 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 bing. Right? That's just a sonar kind of thing. We put a magnometer, something that measures the magnetic field as you're going through the ocean. Okay, am I more attracted or am I less attracted? More attracted or am I less attracted? I really like the ocean sometimes. Right? And so you can actually measure this, and they measured it. So this was a hypothesis. And don't worry if you don't come up with the hypothesis, but this is where the mechanism is coming from. Hey, go. All right. And so this is where the smoking gun comes from. That this is really good evidence of seafloor spreading. You have the symmetry and you have the magnetics. The magnetism on the seafloor changes with distance from the mid-ocean ridge. So they saw that pattern, that striped pattern. And so this is recorded seafloor basalt. The basalts have a lot of magnetic minerals, a lot of iron. And so I want to show you actually Fred Vine. And at any point we watch too many movies, I don't care. You guys deal with it. Hey, come back. Oh, that one. This is actually.
Vine explains his discovery. A connection between those magnetic reversals and Hess's conveyor belt, which determines the speed of seafloor spreading.
The oceanic crust of seafloor is continuously being created at mid-ocean ridge crests, such as the crest of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge here in the South Atlantic. It is generated above an upwelling in the mantle and spreads laterally away from the crest, thereby separating, drifting the continents apart as though they were on a conveyor belt of upper mantle material. So one might represent this, therefore, by a simple model such as this, illustrating the way in which the conveyor belt of oceanic crust and upper mantle material flows out from the central crack in the Earth's crust. In 1963, John Matthews and myself, down at Cambridge, added a simple rider to this, and in effect converted this conveyor belt of oceanic crust into a tape recorder, which suggested that as new crust is formed, solidifies a ridge crest, frozen into the current direction of the Earth's magnetic field, this will be subsequently moved aside as newer material comes in. And in this way, successive avenues of crust, normally and reversely magnetized, will be built up paralleling the ridge crest and symmetrically disposed about it. And indeed, going back to the anomaly, the very detailed contour map of Rathrum Mason for this area of the Northeast Pacific, and after peering at it for some time, we could see that indeed there is a remarkable symmetry of the magnetic anomalies about the crest of this so-called Juan de Fuca ridge in this area, and they do indeed reproduce all the details of the reversal timescale in remarkable detail. And so to summarize this, then, we drew up this new colored summary map, which emphasizes this symmetry about the ridge crests in a truly remarkable way. It's incredible to think that it had been in the literature for 4 or 5 years. In 63, it was very frustrating because I had this idea and one realized that if it was true, you know, the implications were enormous. The ocean basins were young, ephemeral features, that all the oceanic crust, all the deep ocean basins that we see today were generated, say, in the past 200 million years of geologic time, less than 5% of the whole of geologic time.
Yeah, so if you want to find a Jack Hill zircon of 3 billion years, don't go to the ocean. The oceans are young. They're very young. And so it was very exciting fun for its time, right? And so I think I gave enough information for this. Let's see. This was in smart work, so this was actually in the homework. Choose the false statement. Which one is the worst statement? Magnetic anomalies are places where the magnetic field strength is either greater or less than the expected strength. They're found only on the seafloor. They're termed normal if the atomic dipoles match Earth's current magnetic field and point from north to south, are measured with an instrument called the magnometer. We'll let that go. Anybody need more time? Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to look at this for a second. All right, it's between B or C. Are they found only on the seafloor, or are they termed normal if the atomic poles field point north to south? All right, look at that again. It's one of those two. Which one is it, B or C? How many people feel like this is a trick question? Okay, good. Anybody need more time? Is everybody doing? Okay. Let's see. All right, there's a little bit of a change. So, you guys who said B, why can't it be C? Remove that. Or you guys who picked C, why is B not true?
Keywords like whole. That's like a question. That's really true. anomaly can't be normal.
Ah, so that's interesting. So you're looking at the only and you're looking at the normal and saying those are the key words. Ah, that's interesting. So are magnetic anomalies only found on the seafloor? Do we see reversals only on the seafloor?
No.
Where did we get the idea? We got the idea from land, right? The volcanoes. Yeah. So we see them on land, right? But that's really interesting. I would totally argue that. That's a horrible question, right? It makes you look like 5 times. Like, really? Really? All right. And so you can see, like, a lot of these questions suck, but they're kind of good at getting us thinking and really understanding the deeper concepts, right? And so magnetic anomalies happen all over, all over.
At the same time, normal, it's not calling it necessarily normal, it's saying term normal. So it's
Yes.
just a label.
Yes. So that's a name of the anomaly. It's a normal anomaly. Reverse normal. And so Fred Vine was writing N, R, and that's N, normal anomaly, reverse anomaly. That's what they call it. So yeah, I would say that's a good catch and a good reason why you would say this question isn't good. All right. And so evidence for seafloor spreading was really the paleomagnetism. So that's really showing that the mid-ocean ridge, this Pacific area ridge, is moving apart. And so this is by Washington. And so magnetic anomalies map as stripes of positive and negative intensities on both sides of mid-ocean ridges. And that's really compelling. It's showing that the floor is spreading over time. And these stripes form a pattern. If it's true that the mid-ocean ridge is forming new and older stuff is moving out to the side, as the magnetics change, that should be recorded symmetrically on both sides. And Fred Vine was like, well, what we found is if you squint at it long enough, you find this beautiful symmetry. And so there's some kind of symmetry. If this red line wasn't here telling you it's the mid-ocean ridge, I'd say it's like really hard to see. But we know this is the mid-ocean ridge. And he's saying that this is similar to that. This little guy here is similar to that. This is similar. So there's some symmetry. So yeah, Harry Hess is probably right. You guys see that symmetry? It's not really crystal clear, is it? When you color it in, it's a lot more compelling. So this is colored in by age. So 2 million years old is the red. Blue is 10 million years old. So this is young stuff. And you can see that the Juan de Fuca Ridge, pretty young. And the age is decreasing as you go away from it. Oh, increasing, sorry. It's getting much older as you go away. So much older as you go away. And there's a pattern, a symmetrical pattern on both sides. Okay. So this is how we know that there's seafloor spreading. All right. So remember, seafloor spreading is the mechanism. Continents drift by seafloor spreading, and this is plate tectonics. And so polarity reversals are explained, they explain the actual stripes that we see. So the polarities of Earth moves up and down. And they're symmetric. That didn't come in as it was supposed to. Positive anomalies happen when you have Earth's field oriented the same as the seafloor. So the magnometer is going along, measuring, and it's feeling an extra pull because the magnetic minerals below are aligned with Earth's field. So the pull is stronger. So you have a positive force, it's a positive anomaly. So this is normal. What's abnormal? It is reversed. It's just not today. It happened sometime in the past. All right? And so the Earth's field is actually canceling out the minerals that are pointed in opposite direction. And so the magnetics are weakened. And so the magnometer kind of floats up more. It's not like attractive. And so that's how we measure it. Yeah. So it's measured, and we see this beautiful symmetry. All right? And so we see these stripes. There are these stripes. And going back, okay, here's a mid-ocean ridge. For 1 million years, it's kind of normal. For 1 million years after that, the other way. For 1 million years after that, so this is 1 million years, 2 million, 3, 4. And you see these changes. And we see that there's differential widths, right? And so what do the widths of those stripes mean? It mean two things. So this is telling us more information than just we have a mechanism, right? How the microphenotypes are spreading. This is telling us something else. Two more things.
The amount of time between blips.
The amount of time, yes. Good. So it's telling you the duration of the orientation of that pole. So yes, exactly. So that's one. There's one more. What else could change the width? Something big, big. If it eats a lot of cake. If it's wider versus if it's really short. Anybody think that they have an idea?
The rate of spreading.
Yes. Huh. So, what would that mean? The rate of spreading. How could that change the width?
If the rate is high, then it's going to be wider.
It's really bad if it's really slow, and if it's a very cold basin, it's going to kind of be. And so, you don't know if the rates change over time. They stay the same. This is kind of interesting. So they have implications. They have more implications. So the width is proportional to the duration of the cron. That's what the age. How long does that field actually stay in that orientation? Right? But it also means the spreading rate. It's telling you, oh man, this thing could be moving really fast, or it could be moving really slow. And so we see that there are mid-ocean ridges, so oceans with ridges in them, that spread at different rates on Earth today. They don't all spread at the same rate. All right. And so this is seafloor spreading in a nutshell. If you kind of understand that over time you have mantle upwelling, making new seafloor forms, and it freezes magnetic minerals in line with Earth's magnetic field. And then that field can flip from time to time. And so you get this recording, these symmetrical striping on both sides of the ocean. This is actually explaining how seafloor spreads. So seafloor spreading in a nutshell, right? It's this magnetic polarity reversal, and it's imprinted on the seafloor rock, right? And so we can actually determine from widths and from rock ages, the Atlantic Ocean is not moving as fast as the Pacific. The Pacific kind of moves that much every year. The Atlantic is a bit slower. And in terms of geology, we actually have a geologist on staff. His name is Chris Bluhart. He studied paleomagnetism. He actually, this is one of the ways he actually finds ages of things going on in Earth's past. And he does magnetostratigraphy. He does magnetochronology. He actually measures the magnetic field of different rocks. Right? And so we get this actual magnetic age timeline. So remember, like Earth's history goes back 4.5 billion years. The magnetic history in the ocean only goes back about 200 million. And so this is why Fred Vine is saying that the oceans are very young. Right? They don't go back billions of years. And we have a pretty good magnetic history. So you can see if you say that, all right, this rock is 45 million years old, it better have a reverse polarity. So this is one of the ways that we ground truth and actually validate dates. Right? You get a potassium argon age, you double check, make sure everything agrees with each other, then you have pretty good confidence. Right? So this is seafloor spreading. All right, and so this is Harry Hess's idea. He gave the mechanism. So even though he didn't do the bathymetry and the magnetic, Fred Vine actually did, he actually gave the mechanism. So he came up with the mechanism, and Fred Vine actually proved it, right? And so we give Hess the actual contribution of he actually published this idea of seafloor spreading. He's the first one to say it. And in line with that, he also saw that the age of the ocean increased away. So you're getting much older stuff farther away from the ocean ridges. And because that crust has been around much longer, it's had a lot more time to build up sediment. And so you also see, in conjunction with the age increasing, you see packages of sediment, ocean sediment, increasing with distance. So very thin sediment here, much thicker as you get closer to the coast. And this is where the deltas, the very thick packages, the continental shelves are sedimented. Right? And so earthquakes were also seen along mid-ocean ridges. So there's some other evidence that, okay, there's some kind of tectonic activity going on at these mid-ocean ridges. And at these mid-ocean ridges, the crust actually splits apart. And the mantle, the asthenosphere, actually comes to the surface. And it actually solidifies and chills, and it chills due to the salt crust. All right, and so this is where you have the high heat flow, and this is where you can actually invoke your density, your buoyancy. This stuff is much more buoyant. It's hot, right? And so it'll buoy up. It cools as it goes away, and as it cools, it gets more dense and sinks down. There's arguments about whether what's driving this whole thing, whether it's at some end something pulling. So in this would be the Atlantic, this would be the Pacific Ocean. You have the East Pacific Rise somewhere off this picture, whatever. And is what's pulling that mid-ocean apart the pull of that slab, or is it actually this differential? Is the mid-ocean ridge pushing? So we don't know if it's a pull or a push. People argue over that as well. Okay. So you can be a scientist and argue over that. And some people might think that Earth is expanding. Is Earth expanding? No. Why not?
Because as sun rises, the other one has to go back.
Yeah, so we have kind of a steady state, right? So we're kind of not growing, we're not shrinking, we're just staying the same. So as much stuff that's being made, we have destruction or consumption of crust also. So that's why ocean crust isn't so old. It actually goes back into the mantle, right? And so upwelling erupts at mid-ocean ridges, new crust forms here and moves away, gathers sediment as it's going along this conveyor. At trenches, the seafloor subducts back into the mantle, right? So this is where we get that convection. And this instantly provides a mechanism for continents to drift. These continents can move by this mechanism. Continent here can come crashing, boom, into there by this mechanism. And we saw this evidence. We saw that there's a graveyard, right? So this was that seismic picture slice into Earth, and we can see this old cold slab of ocean going down beneath your tent. We don't know, again, how far down. It looks like there's old stuff down here, but, you know, this is just, but I don't know, really. But we argue over how much stuff is mixing here. And so, for a minute, knowing what you guys know now, being magnetic age ocean experts, which is the oldest ocean basin? Right? Is it, did you say the Atlantic? So this is the Atlantic here. Did you say the Indian Ocean? Here. The Pacific Ocean? Here. And there's the Red Sea, which is conveniently almost under the box right here. And the ocean age in color, is anyone colorblind? Okay, good. Goes from red, pretty young, to the about 200 million years blue. Right? So which would you say is the oldest? Which is not the baby. So, yeah. We'll shut it off in a minute. If you're not sure, you can just click. You still get point participation. Last 3 people? Oh, last 4 people? Good job. All right. Hey. Hey. Did you crash? No, there it is. All right. So most people think C. And second runner up is A, okay. And a couple people think Indian, a couple people think, okay. So most people think C. For you guys who thought Pacific Ocean, why is that the best answer?
Yeah.
So if you want to find the oldest ocean, okay. Blue, where's the most blue? Oh, right there. Okay, this is Pacific. The oldest ocean is the Pacific. And on top of that, it has subduction. Right? So it's old enough, it's cold enough that it actually is subducting back into the mantle. The Atlantic doesn't have that. Right? So it's a young ocean. It started opening up much more recently. Right? And it doesn't have any subduction zone yet. So we don't have any ocean trenches like the Pacific. So the deepest place is in the Pacific, the oldest stuff is in the Pacific. Where's the baby? The Red Sea, yeah. So where is that? Oh, right here. This is going to be a new ocean. And maybe one day down here too. All right. Right. And also looking at this pattern, I want you to think in your mind, can you start seeing any plates? Do you see places that you would draw boundaries between the lithosphere, between rocks? If not, that's okay. We're starting to see Earth a new way. And just like the people at the time, back in the 1960s, they're like, oh my God, this actually is showing me something. Showing me a couple more things than just the age. What about the distribution of earthquakes? Do you see any plates? Yeah. This is the last one. Okay. Do this all day. Rorschach. So I have an exercise, and you're going to become an expert. And so you can pick like the 3 people around you, so it'd be 4 per group. And your group is either going to be a seismologist, geochronologist, so earthquakes, age, geography, topography, or volcanics, volcanoes, active volcanoes. And so, And so write your name on the top, you'll hand this in by the time class ends. And you should have all of the specialties kind of close to each other so you guys can argue. And so you want to actually draw plates according to your specialty evidence. Where would you draw plates? We need 4. We need 4. And the 3 of you and okay. You guys would be a chronology. Who doesn't have? Do you have? You guys think you do chronology? You need one more. You recruit. Yeah, so you can give those to the 3 people. Yeah. Start just drawing and see plates. There's going to be geochron. You need one more person. Somebody needs to jump ship. Somebody needs to join up. Anybody be a chronologist? So yeah. You're fine. You'll get paid off this one.
What are we doing?
You're going to draw plates. Any plates that you see.
Oh.
So write your name on it and draw any lines that you can possibly draw as your plate level. All right, you guys are going to do volcanologists. So you need 4 people. 4 people. And 1 more person.
Math projection. You know, that's just, no, it's not UTM.
Yeah, go around. Go around. You need like 3 more people maximum. You want to pick like 3 Putting your name on it. You are geography, topography. So just based upon just the elevation, can you make some lines? So you guys so you're 1, 2, are you 4? Yeah.
You guys are getting incoming. Welcome then. You guys are getting drop the line. You guys don't have a. Huh? How many people in the group? First, I was thinking about that's what I was thinking. That would be like Cosmology, earthquake. Earthquake. Become an expert. I would just draw a line if you want to, if you can. Make sure your name is on it. How many lines can you draw?
Want to try that?
You guys have about 7 minutes, and then we'll check in. You guys need something?
Where would you draw a line? Based on that information is elevation? Elevational information?
I was looking at like some examples because I guess there was like a competition last year for e-portfolios and they got like an iPad or something. And I was looking at their examples to like show them to see if they can get any ideas to look at.
Yes.
It's a little different than how I did it freshman year, but it's basically the same thing.
Well, it'd be good to, I don't know if it's good to see that sometimes or do something similar, but
That's what I was.
Because I know you can just add like YouTube links, pictures, like,
Yes.
Word documents and stuff. Like you can be about anything, basically.
I'd like it
I was
to be.
asking around and a lot of them said that they just really don't know what to do. But I don't know if you've assigned anything.
No, just
Okay.
just to get them on it and into the class.
Yeah.
And yes, so last semester out of the 120, 50 something, 60 actually successfully did one.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a huge hurdle. And so this is actually great. And I'll send you what I assigned them, but
if it would actually be helpful for you if like you have feedback or if you want to share kind of the other assignments. So I'll send you an email and ask you to, because I might tailor it to what you actually done. Yeah, because I thought it just had to be an e-portfolio about anything. So I was like, okay, you guys can come up with like
Yeah,
an
I think it's good
environmental
practice.
topic. Yeah, an environmental topic about
That's great.
something, and then like find an article, summarize it, find a YouTube link that like,
Yes.
relates to it, just to have like some practice. Because I didn't know like what your
Yes, that's perfect. That's
what your
perfect. That's perfect.
what you were looking for. So I guess I can just have them. So
Yes.
I'll mention it's extra credit.
It's extra credit, and if they can actually, their major, or like if they can actually reflect and show some kind of connection between what we're doing in class or what they're
To
doing
their major.
to anything that's going on in their life or their major.
Okay.
That's a high level synthesis. So
Yeah.
that would be
So
good.
it's basically like, because I remember writing the essay, so it's just the same gist, but like an e-portfolio type style.
Yes.
So
And the e-portfolio is different because it can, not only can you do your traditional essay, but you can add
in other content.
Other things.
Yeah, just to make it like more exciting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's the benefit. And the university's moving towards that, so it's good to get that kind of.
So does every GD class have to do an e-portfolio now?
I don't think it's like totally mandated yet, but that's where they're moving towards, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to get some clarification.
Yes. So this will help them.
The worksheet, or I can email it to you as well, but I printed out a bunch of copies.
No, if I can take one, that would be great. Yeah, because I can look at it.
Okay, cool.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Was it easy to draw those? Was it really hard? Was it like,
Based on- You always have to compare to science.
Yeah.
Next week we'll see how they All right, so I want you guys to finish kind of putting your lines in the next 3 minutes. All right, so I see that there's good start. I love what I'm seeing. You don't have to do right. It's just like you write a challenge. Like, yeah, where would I actually draw this line? Did you guys draw them together, or were you guys kind of like independent and be like, let me do my own thing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wow. Is there anyone who's just way off? Way off? Okay, no, that's good. You guys keep the camera fixed. I can put the photo upside down and just look at it in your head. That would be a person you see the thing outside the car. Look at Okay, I like what I see. All right, 1 more minute. Wrap it up. Elizabeth Gamma? Ramandeep? Ramandeep? Omar?
Ramiro? Who needs more time? Okay. So now there's another challenge. Oh, for geography, yeah, let's post this, but I hope you guys remember the age. So now you're going to do an expert spot. So you hit your expert. And this is what we often have to do. We have to work with people who are experts in the different fields. But when your expertise comes together, you actually get a much more rich understanding. It's really hard because you're talking different things, but that's okay. And so you're going to have to go to a group where you're the one expert, and you also have someone from every other expert. And for some reason, I didn't list those, so I'll do it again. You need a volcanologist. You need a seismologist, the earthquake person. I know this classroom is not made to like move around. You need a geochronologist, and you need a geographer. And so one person for each expertise. So someone from here, 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 and there probably have to get together. So you guys are kind of stratified in the way I ended it up. And I want you to compare what you drew. And see if your mixed group can actually improve upon what you drew. Again, you're handing this in. Probably down here we need what? Geochron.
You guys are
You can work out in the hall if that's easier. You can work in here. You can go outside for a couple minutes, whatever's easy.
And so we're
Coming back in 5 minutes.
we just turn it in now.
No. No. You have to lend your expertise. Work it up. Okay, I know
So basically just compare. I mean, I think this offers quite a bit of information. Just to sort of follow a little shallow.
yeah.
Okay, so like, for example, light blue stuff within all the dark blue. Essentially, that's those would be good ones. What's that? I can't think. So what she's looking for, where are the plate boundaries? Okay, good. So all the lighter stuff, for example, up through middle of the Atlantic Ocean here, on yours, you see that big flag in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Find out. So if you look at it here, here's Africa, right? There's the United States, South America. So yeah, exactly. You already, yeah, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not really a big deal. So good. I think that's the Scotia plate. Pretty close. The whole idea is that the more data that you have, I think that's better a lot of this by using all these different layers, isolating layers, there, right here, right here. If I only went on this, then I'm only going to get as accurate as this map is. If I start comparing data, then essentially what it is, it's full of perturbation. You start weeding out the stuff that you don't need when you start realizing or.
So I think this is a little slow. So I have like 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you guys doing? Are you guys like doing okay? Yeah. Okay, so for your expert swap, before you turn it in, so what you have to do is when your group is finished, you'll get a handout of the actual plates. So I'm going to hand out where the actual plates are. And then on your original expert handout, identify the boundaries that are not the same. All right, so I want you to check and cross the boundaries that are right or wrong. And on the back, I just want a quick reflection from you. Which data set was the most helpful in identifying the right boundaries? So, where they are. Were you able to get them all?
Geography or I get that. Well, on there, yeah, but it doesn't. So I suppose she means topography. Yeah, it should read topography because topography essentially shows you it doesn't have contour lines. But it does show you different elevations. So yeah, I mean, what I was Alex. Okay, so I was telling Alex that exactly lighter areas. So if that's going to be higher elevation.
And then write down which data set was most helpful.
Thank you.
I miss you guys.
Original identified documents. Check mark boundaries that are not similar. Do that. Each let's see,
That's on the elevation.
And don't just say like geography was the best. Write down why. 1 or 2 sentences, not too much.
On what, on this one, right?
Yes, on your original. You only have to hand in your original. This is the place to put them all. And so when you're done, you can just put them on here.
I don't look at it necessarily as easy, because the more information you have, the more data you have, it creates redundancies and allows you to check against things. I mean, the more data you have, the more you can narrow down this to figure out what your outliers are.
You can just put them on the table.
Most profitable
You
value.
can just put them on the table.
So I think every
Good to go.
tips and learning special contributes. I agree. The more data you have, you can start, all you have, for example, are a list of state capitals in the United States. And I really have mappings. Can you really tell the difference? You need a map of boundaries, you need a map of state boundaries, you need topographical maps. It gives you more information.
Oh, that was so funny. I thought she was talking about different class. I'm like, what? Well, with your classmates.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like,
Well, you're supposed to write on the back of your map there and answer that question. Because that's the location.
yeah.
Say that
And
there's-
the thing that you actually make use of all is really efficient. So thank you. I learned a lot, so I know how to work that over with you now.
Yeah. What should I write?
I'm good.
All of it? I got them all. Happy great. How much y'all for the bag?
So what should I write? Just nothing.
Well, no, you still should write which data set did you find the most useful?
Oh, yeah, so like all the other two, I should write nothing or?
Yeah, no, you're
Okay, okay. I just want, I don't know if it's registered or not.
So you can do it in the paper, or we can look at today. Let's look at it today. Did you just click today?
I got it all this year last time, but I don't know if it worked or not.
I thought that it did. Let me see.
Yeah, same here. I've been like turning in papers, but I had like a couple missing participation points.
What's your last name?
Mesa, M-E-Z.
Jesus, right? What's the last name?
M-E-Z-A.
Huh. So I don't have you here.
This is the bricks.
Is that it? Is that all? That's it? That's right. I'll come back.
I think it's the wrong one. Huh. It's Tuesday, Thursday. Sometimes it does that. Oh, I wonder.
Yeah, that's all.
Maybe I did it wrong. Oh. Wait, I just had it.
I'm still red. That means I haven't registered yet.
Yeah. So it had you today.
Okay.
You see that one
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah.
If it doesn't have you, let me know.
Okay.
It's my, I'll have my clicker for sure next class.
Okay.
I just didn't have batteries. So.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I have a couple of zeros.
Yeah, on the table.
If it's correct on Blackboard, it's probably correct on there.
It should be. Can you put this on the table over there? Can you put this on the table over there?
I have a quick question. I added the class late, so I don't have the access code for the to do the lab online. Like you said, you sent it out for Thursday.
So you didn't get an email.
No, and I tried to use somebody else's and it didn't work somehow. I don't know if it's
No, it should be by your name.
by your name.
So send me
Okay.
an email. And I can.
Isn't it due tomorrow? Will I get like?
Oh, we can-
Okay. I wasn't sure. I was been trying to like access it.
Yes.
All
Send me
right.
an email.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'm just gonna. I just want to make my phone.
Okay.
Turn my phone on.
Email me.
Should I email you?
Yes.
Excuse me. I would need permission of my science lab. Yeah, it's that. That's why I good building.
Yeah. You can go.
Okay.
So she knows that you're in the class.
Yeah,
As I know. Yeah.
just to get that class enrolled.
You're enrolled.
Yep.
If not, I will check.
Thank
I
you.
will check. No, thank you.
Like my answer.
I'll email you. Yeah. Yes.
Or do I hand this you? Should I bring that?
No, you can keep that unless you want to hand it back in.
I'll keep
But
it.
I'll email you on your enrollment slip.
Thank you.
Yeah. Test. Louis? 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 Or Ignacio? It doesn't look like it's registering, but it might be because it's one of these guys. So if I don't have you, there's some, oh, wrong one. Hey, there are some, you see those numbers? These don't belong to anyone. And so if you have your iCooker number, can you write it on here?
Yeah.
And then I can give you the credit.
So if that was red, then is it not registered yet?
These
Mine was red,
are,
but I just registered.
yeah,
today.
so it looks like, I would write the name on there to make sure that, write your iCooker
Oh, no,
number.
this is something else.
Write your iCooker number on it, so I can make sure that it's going to.
All right.
Yeah. I still need visit in the back, but oh, that's okay. You can just put it in over there. That's fine. So if you're just handing in your thing for today, you can put it on the table. Oh, your iCooker number?
No, this is. I don't remember what it is. I gotta turn this in.
You need your points.
Yeah, I'm turning this into every time I go to
Okay.
look for that one. I see it right
Oh,
now.
that's fine.
So I'm still trying to find it.
That's fine. And you can also enable it online if you have smart devices you want to use.
Oh, it's on the left?
It should be.
Oh.
That's the REF enabled. So it should be.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll switch that.
But if that's too.
No, I
either way,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm going to.
I have something.
Okay, from 18 So, yeah, it's before Thanksgiving. Okay. All you have is would be.
I'll tell you when I'm going back.
Yeah, you can do that online.
It's online.
Yeah, those are all. Yeah, you're fine.
This is
Thank you.
Cindy the travel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I was having trouble with the lab. I could not find the findings. So I was hoping you could.
The virtual lab?
Yes, like the stuff that we have to do for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What was the site again?
Smart Science. I don't know if you can sign in through there. I would go through the Blackboard link because I'm pretty sure. Oh, stop broadcast.